Hi, Grandma Abuela here again. I'm outside enjoying the fresh autumn air. You may hear cars go past, you may hear the sound of a chainsaw, a lawnmower, you may hear my dogs barking. That's because I'm outside, and I know it would be great if I had this soundproof studio and that's what it was like, but that's not what I'm doing. These are very novice videos, not that professional, but I hope that the information that I have in them is information that can help you. Today I want to talk about being patient with kids and trying to find out where their mind is when they do things. I have kind of a funny story to help illustrate this. I have a friend who had several children. I believe she had 7 or 8 kids. And she was a really good mom. I just really always admired her and how patient and good she was with her kids. Now, I knew her when she was on the last half of her kids. Her 4 youngest kids were the same age as my 4 oldest kids, so we got to be quite good friends. Just, we were mom friends. Our kids were on the same ball teams and things like that. Oh, look, you can see one of my dogs in the background. Anyways, she told me the story. She said that one of her youngest son, second to youngest son, decided that he wanted a drink of milk, and he went into the kitchen to get this drink, and he got a full gallon of milk out of the refrigerator, and he put his little cup down on the floor. Now the kid was probably 2, maybe 3 years old, just a little tyke, probably 3. And he put his cup down in the middle of the kitchen floor, and then he unscrewed the lid off this gallon of milk, and he attempted to pour the milk into his cup. Well, what ended up happening was very little milk got in the cup, and most of that gallon of milk spilled all over the entire kitchen floor. And she came in just as the last bits of milk were getting spilled on the kitchen floor. Now, understandably, she wasn't very happy about this because, 1, it made a huge mess, and 2, it was a waste of a gallon of milk, waste of money. She had to go back to the store to buy more milk for the family. And she told me that when that happened, that she just cleaned it up. She said, "Oh, honey, what were you thinking? Why did you do that? Come and help me clean it up." And she had him help, even though he wasn't much of a help because he was just a little guy. And as they were cleaning together, she didn't yell at him or anything, but as they were cleaning together, he told her that the reason why he had tried to get his own milk was because he knew she was busy. And, oh, there's my dogs barking. Sorry about that. Anyways, he knew she was busy and he didn't want to bother her. He figured that he'd seen her pour milk a dozen times and he figured he could do it himself. So he was trying to be helpful and get his own milk and not bother her and not take away from what she was trying to do, which is really sweet if you think about it. And she really appreciated his attempt. She told him, it's no bother for me to get you a glass of milk, so next time you want milk, just come and get me and I'll get you milk. I like to take a break and get you milk every now and then. And so that's how that turned out. But as she told me the story, she said that if that would have been her oldest child, she probably would have killed the kid. Not literally. But she said that with that first child, she just did not have that patience, and she probably would have yelled and screamed and gotten upset and maybe spanked the kid, put her in the corner, put her in timeout or whatever. And she would have missed out on a lot with that first child if that's how she would have reacted, because she would have missed out in learning that this kid was actually trying to do something helpful for the mom. She would have missed out on an opportunity to clean together, even though, like I said, 3-year-olds don't do a great job cleaning, but she would have missed out on this great time. And that really instilled in me, like I said, this was one of her youngest, and my 4 oldest kids were her age, but this really instilled in me the importance of listening to our kids and of trying to understand where they're coming from. This little boy did not pour the gallon of milk out on the floor on purpose. He wasn't doing it to be malicious. He wasn't doing it to try to make mom's life miserable. He wasn't doing it as an experiment to see, oh, I wonder what will happen if I pour the milk out on the floor. And sometimes as adults, we treat kids like we think they're doing this just to make our lives miserable, that they're just being silly, or that they're not being respectful, or they're not being smart, or they're being devious, or whatever. And really, in this case, the kid was trying to be helpful. He was trying to be respectful. So I think it's really, really important that we remember instances like this and we try to keep our patience and try to see, where is that kid coming from? Why did he pour the milk out on the floor? read a parenting thing once that said don't ever ask kids why, and I totally disagree with that because I think it's important for kids to tell us why. I know that when I do something stupid and people say why, I like being given the opportunity to explain what I was thinking. Even if my thought process was totally messed up, I like being able to at least have that opportunity to tell them. And then people can correct my thought process. And in her case, she was able to correct his thought process. Honey, it's no bother for me to get you a glass of milk. I like stopping to get you a glass of milk. So next time you're thirsty, come to me. I'll get you that glass of milk. You don't need to do it yourself. So again, really important, I think. Be patient with your kids and take the time out to listen to them. Don't just automatically assume the worst. Bye.